week leading up to the opening game against Richmond, Duke coach David Cutcliffe announced his team selection of permanent captains for the 2011 season. The Blue Devils chose fifth-year seniors Kyle Hill for the offensive line and Charlie Hatcher for the defensive line, along with fourth-year players Matt Daniels, a veteran safety, and Sean Renfrey, the starting quarterback. For Renfrey, team leadership is a function and responsibility of his position as the focal point of the offense, but it's also a role he is prepared for and embraced.
Sean's a junior, but he's a redshirt junior. He's a fourth-year player. He feels like this is his football team. He's not in the shadows of Thad Lewis. I think his personality's come out to the squad, not just in the demanding way, but Sean's having fun. Sometimes Sean's so serious, you have to worry about whether he's having fun out there, and I think he's been able to really display to the team that he's having a great time playing football, and I think that's helped our offensive team.
I think team-wise, the first thing we focused on was leadership. Something we definitely lacked, I think, last year was vocal leadership. I think we had a good group of seniors, but we needed more young guys, stepping up into more roles, because we do have a lot of young players, and we need them to mature maybe a little bit faster, become more vocal than maybe they're comfortable with. So that's something I kind of pushed myself with this season, is become maybe more vocal than I'm comfortable with, and get some other core guys that you can rely on to be leaders throughout this offseason. So that's something we worked on.
Not only within our group, but the team, he's become a tremendous leader this offseason. He's become more vocal, which is one thing that we needed. We needed a more vocal leader, and Sean's stepped up to that position, and he's taken on that role. And he's done a tremendous job getting the troops rallied for this upcoming season and the off-season, getting everyone excited to come out to the non-mandatory workouts that we had and voluntary stuff. And so Sean's been a great leader for us this offseason.
While strength, speed, and conditioning were points of emphasis for all the Blue Devils during the offseason, Renfrey and his fellow quarterbacks also focused on several other areas of their development in preparing for the 2011 campaign.
When you get down to it, how can we find a way to score 30-plus points in a game against a good opponent? That's what we got to do. So
personally, for myself, the things I wanted to improve on was gameplay, and I watched that with Coach Roper. We went back and watched some of our games and broke it down. The first thing, which is most glaring, was turnovers. So cutting down turnovers. We looked at that, interceptions, fumbles, things like that. In games that we were close in were games that we cut down turnovers. We were able to give ourselves a chance to win in the fourth quarter, and certainly being able to convert field goals into touchdowns in the fourth quarter should help us win games. So that was the first thing we looked at, and then after that was fundamentals. I think at times I got too caught up in the X's and O's that goes, with game planning throughout the season, and I lost sight of my fundamentals at certain points. So I started working on that pretty regularly throughout, every week, finding something I could prove on fundamentally in my game, because I think that'll help my game play throughout this season.
The thing that I've liked that Sean Renfrey and his backups have done collectively is not just 7-on-7 drills, and it's been really a specific plan of taking a position out there and taking every route that position runs and perfecting it, knowing each other so well that in the toughest conditions you can succeed. When Sean's working with Connor Vernon or Donovan Varner or Brandon Braxton or Cooper Helfett, you can see the significant hours that he's put in. And then as a group, what we've really asked him to do is to, and this is something that Sean has to do, is play faster. You want to play as fast as you possibly can. And so we've really tried to quicken his feet, quicken his release. He's got so much knowledge of what we're doing offensively. He also can make those decisions so much quicker, so much more effectively if you do it quickly. So I think Sean has taken the challenge and done it well to this point.
Renfrey also expanded his horizons by collaborating with many other top quarterbacks in the country during the summer.
He went down and worked the Manning Passing Academy, and it was a little eye-opening to him. First of all, it's not just the influence of the Mannings and what they do. It's all of the good college quarterbacks from around the country. Andrew Luck's there. All of these guys are there. And I think Sean felt very comfortable in his skin with his ability level and what he knew and how he went about his business. He was very aware of Eli and Peyton's work ethic. I think he kind of knew that, but it was really eye-opening. And then he watched me work Eli out. Eli came in for 3 days with some of his receivers, and when they were in the lockout, and I coached them for 3 days or 2 days hard. And Sean stood back and watched, and I think that was good for him to see Eli respond like a rookie to coaching and moving and getting up off the ground and responding to what I expected him to do.
To talk to some of those other college guys, you know, and pick up tips here and there. You know, what do you do here for film? How do you watch film? How do you prepare? Things like that certainly helped, and I picked up from Nick Foles, the quarterback from Arizona, you know, kind of what they do in the off season. They kind of have what he called player-led, you know, practices, or just players kind of leading practices, and we did that. And I thought it was beneficial for a lot of our young guys and some of our older guys to get back into the groove before camp started.
I feel like Sean did a really good job this summer at organizing throwing sessions and, you know, just taking control and making sure guys are accountable. So, like, if you miss one, he'll kind of like come up to you and be like, you know, why aren't you there? Like, you need to be here. Like, we're trying to be better. So I feel like this past summer, he did a really good job. Some people didn't really like it at first because they were like, you know, like, why is Sean on my back? But I mean, as they realize now in camp that, you know, everything's picking up and timing's good and Sean's basically on point, that they realize like the extra work that he's asking everybody to come is helping everybody out.
Even without the coaches there, you could see big strides that the offense was making, and that's a big part to Sean's leadership abilities and him just understanding the offense and where Coach Roper and Coach Cutcliffe envision it going, and Sean just taking it to that next step, and all the other quarterbacks as well, and it's translated onto the field this fall camp.
Renfrey is in his second full year as Duke starter after enjoying a 3,000-yard passing season a year ago. While most of the other ACC schools began the year with new starters at football's most critical position, the Blue Devils plan to make the most of having one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the conference leading their offense.